A3, an A4, an A5, an A6, and an A7. That's my 8 of them, right? Okay. So when I come here and say I is equal to 0, that's going to put a 0 into I, right? Then next thing we do is do our test. Is 0 less than 8? Yeah, so we're going to do the loop. Cn, read in the first number, which is the number 8, right? Goes in the A sub I, but I is what? 0, so that's the same as saying A0, right? So the 8 goes into A0. Then we go back around, plus plus I. I changes from 0 to what? 1. Is 1 less than 8? Yes, so we're going to do it again. Then we read into number 2. But I is now what? 1. So the number 2 goes into A. Everybody see how it's working? Okay. Then we go back around. I is now 2. 2 is less than 8. We read into 10. We read into 10 to A2. Then I is going to be 3. Going to read in the 3 into A3. Then I is going to be 4. It's going to read into 7. Then I is going to be 5. It's going to read into 4. I is going to be 6. We read into 6. Then I is going to be 7. We read into 1. Then when I is 8, 8 is not less than 8. It's false, so we go to the next statement after the loop, which is right way. Okay. Everybody totally understand how that works? It's clear. So we know any more problems we got to read some numbers in the array. That's how we can start out. But now we got all 8 numbers in that array, right? So now we can do whatever we want to them because we got them all. Okay, so what does it say? Print the original 8 numbers. So if I want to print out all 8 numbers, how can I do that? I need to see out, right? Okay, now one thing I can do, I can say see out A0, then print a space, then print out A1, and then print another space. I can keep doing that 8 times, right? And just be glad he didn't say 80 instead of 8, right? Okay, well, what would be a better way to do that? Instead of doing them one at a time, I can make the computer repeat them, right? That's what it takes to do one of them, right? Can we all buy that? That's what it takes to do one of them. So I'll just stick that in a for loop for I equals 0, I less than 8, plus plus I, right? That's going to make it do 8 times, right? But that would make it do A0 8 times, right? I need that to change from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So I put that I right there, right? How's that look? Then it's going A0, then it's going to print A1, it's going to print A2, so on until we get to 8 of them, right? And notice, I print a number, put a space. Print a number, put a space, right? Okay. Now, I probably want to put a heading in front of this, so I'll put a C out in front of this and say, original list of numbers. So I got a heading on top of it, right? Question, Danny? Question? Oh, okay. All right. And then once I finish printing my list of numbers, then I'll probably come down here. So I'll print original list of numbers. Then I'll print the list of numbers with a space in between each one. 10, 3, 7, and so on. Then when I finish with the list of numbers, all these are going to be on the same line because there's no EDL, right? Yep. Then when I finish that whole line of numbers and I'm done, then I'll go to a new line. So, see if my red pen is working again. pen is working. See if this red pen gonna work for me. All right, there we go. Why am I grouping that? That was job one. Everybody see that? It took 2 statements to do job one, right? This is job 2. Okay, now what's the next thing it says? Print the product of the first 4, right? And the sum of the second 4, right? Okay. Well, since this is 4, I'll just say sum is equal to what? A0 plus A1 plus A2 plus A3. That's the sum of the first 4, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's about the product.
Yeah, that's for the second one.
Oh, it says product.
Okay, sure does. The product of the first 4, right? So instead of these plus signs,
And then product is
and the sum of the second 4, right? Okay, but remember we started numbering at 0, so the first 4 is 0, 1, 2, and 3. The second 4 is 4,
5,
Yeah, so with the product of something, so there's like about, we have to do like all 8. Is there a shorter way to do the product for all 8 of them? Instead of have to write all of them out? Or?
All right, good question. Good question. Everybody heard this question?
Yes.
All right. Okay, but first, I'm being a little tedious here. The next job was the product of the first 4, right? That's job 3. We got that done in one statement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we did the sum of the second 4. That was job 4. We also got that done in what? One statement. Okay. Sometimes we can do something in one statement. Sometimes it's going to take a group of statements, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now it says in the sum of all 8 numbers. Well,
you need another sum.
one way I could do this is like this: total sum is equal to A0 plus A1 plus A2 plus A, and so on. I can keep going like that, right?
Yeah.
And we don't argue with success, do we?
No.
We can do it like that, right? But what would be another way we could get the sum of all of these and not have to write all of them out ourselves?
Another for loop.
A for loop, right? Okay. And this is where being a thinker comes into play. I'm going to go back here. Remember when I showed you these links up here, example C++ programs? I'm going here. Total list, right? Everybody see it? Remember when we did this before? Okay. We're gonna go on the total list. Let me see if I can make this a little smaller where I can get it. I got some skills. Okay, is that too small?
That's good.
That's cool right there. All right. So what was the strategy? We said our total equal to what? 0. Then here we read each one of them in, but over here, do we have to read them in again? No, because they're already in the array, right? Okay, here we use the while loop because we didn't know how many were going to be in the list, but do we know how many we're going to have? How many we're going to have? 8, right? Then we took whatever number we were looking at, added it to the total, and that gave us our new total. And when we finished the loop, we knew what the total was, right? So let's take that strategy and adapt it to this. First thing we got to do is set the total equal to what? Instead of that while loop, we're going to use a what? For loop for I equals 0, I less than A, plus I. And what's the magic statement that will get this done from it? The total is going to be whatever the current total is, plus because the first one's going to be A0, right? Then the second number is going to be A1. Then the third number is going to be A2, then A3, then A4, then A5, A6, A7, right? How does that look? Am I on TV? Hey, y'all.
Oh my goodness.